Today I want to talk about some pieces of the puzzle, kind of help put everything together so you can see it. Alchemy itself really consists of everything. There are branches of alchemy that deal with Gematria and Kabbalah. There are branches that deal with Freemasonry. There are branches that deal with all the elements. Astrology is simply a branch of alchemy. To me, astrology is a template. It's the best one we've got. It's written in the stars. They change things down here. Whoever's in control, the powers that be in that generation or that age, it's real apparent today that, one, they've always been in control of the script, the narrative. They've done it through religion, which is just a knockoff astrology and alchemy. They do it in science. They do it in maths, everything. Languages, all of it. And I use the Bible a lot because that's the way I understand it. When I first read the Bible many times, I didn't really know what I was reading. And I knew I didn't. But I knew enough to know there was something going on and there were patterns. But when I broke the Bibble Babble and understood what they did to the languages, then it became open to me. And then when I learned what you would call alchemical terminology and astrological terminology, it all clicked for me. And I see the big picture. I can see the template. It's too much for one person. It really is. But I truly understand it better in the languages. That was just my thing. That's just where I don't, when I read the Bible now, I see something completely different. It's a totally different storyline. It changes what is, what was, and what will be. And that's kind of what I want to talk about here. Because it is apparent, at least to me, that we're in an unreal situation in this age, at this time. The script writers, their objective is to always control the narrative, and they do it on every level. This is a huge undertaking that they're doing with this many people on the planet and with us all connected on the internet. We have more communications between each other at a distance than we've ever had, but at the same time, we have the least amount of communication with the people right next door to us or even in the house with us. It's kind of strange how that occurs. But alchemy, the laws of this construct we're in, whatever it may be, dictates that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I know that doesn't seem to be true in our daily lives, but what goes around comes around. It really does. Eventually, it all pans out in the wash. Pan, as Saturn, pun intended, because it is about the language to me. And when I read in the Bible, when it talks about, like, the word Antichrist, that simply means someone who's not anointed, who hasn't been christened. It's without the anointing, or instead of the anointing. And there are different kinds of anointing. There's water anointings, oil anointings, but this particular one's referring to a kingly anointing, which it's talking about the third eye. But in religion, they anointed the king with oil right? They poured the oil on his head. You had to be anointed. So anybody in power that you would call, from CEO to a king to a president, even a governor, any leaders over peoples, you had to be anointed. There's ceremonies and rituals that do this. So to me, that's how I see it. It's like our leaders, they're not anointed, they're elected. The voice of the people, right? Democracy. Alleged. If people really understood what democracy was, it's made out to be this grand thing that it's about the people and this and that. No, it's not. You've been lied to about what democracy is. We're not educated. My thing when I was little was frickin' dictionaries. I had an obsession to communicate. And I read lots of dictionaries, and I still have a lack of vocabulary, because you get to a point where your words no longer have meaning because the people you're talking to don't have a clue what that word means. So you're constantly having to revert and dumb it down. And then that leaves your description of what you're trying to say even less. Our greatest friend, if you really want to truly decipher something, is a thesaurus, because they just substitute one word for another. And it's all a frickin' word game. And that's my foundation. So when I study this and look at it, people ask me questions like, the constellations are different in solar astrology and lunar astrology, and now they're different in the alchemical astrology and lunar astrology used to be on the same page as to what time is it? When does a constellation end and begin? But lunar astrology changed around 2012, and they brought in the 13th sign of Ophiuchus. And to do that, they had to move other signs. And the whole academia of Eastern astrology just followed suit. There are very few lunar astrologers left that are worth their anything, because they changed it. And this, you don't change this. It's pure. It's the only thing I've ever found that is. To me, the zodiac, I've said it 1,000 times, it's an alchemical magic circle. It's nature's magic circle. It dictates everything that goes on down here. Everything. And it's always dictated by, where is the sun? Now, the question is, what time is it? It feels like we're coming into the age of Aquarius. All around us, things are changing. Surely, this must be the birth pangs. Wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places. To me, it's the unreal in the unreal. It's not real. It's not anointed. It's not the real deal. Astrologically, unless an earthquake or something that shifts the polar axes of this planet, we have a little bit over 700 years before we actually move into Aquarius. And so much of what's going on feels fake to me. All the New Age, they can generate earthquakes if they want. The mass control of the narrative in the media. A lot of the transgender thing has to do with this as well. Because in the age of Aquarius, it's an air sign. And we're going to move from a kingdom of fishes to a kingdom of birds. It's the language of the birds. And in the bird kingdom, the males are prettier than the females. The pretty peacock is the male. The female peacock just looks like it's in the pheasant family or something. The red birds. The males are the pretty red ones. It's the other ones. The females are plain Jane. And they're perpetrating this in Hollywood, the media, in the education systems. And it's a word game. It's like when President O told us he had the most transparent administration ever. But we did not know transparent was 2 words, not 1. And so he didn't lie. We just don't know how to hear. They double speak. They use signs and symbols. All the corporate logos, in one way or another, are related to astrological, alchemical symbolism. All of them. They are evoking the elements. And it's always been a war of elements, a war of symbols. Confucius. The world is not ruled by words or laws, but by signs and symbols. In Genesis, in the beginning, when he created the sun and the moon on the 4th day, they were created for signs and symbols. The stars, the sun, the moon, they're all signs and symbols. And it was there to remember, for us to remember, so we could remind us when the changing of the ages come. But everything about this feels fake to me. I was a member of occult.biz before it got taken down. And when I first got there, it was incredible. It was like walking into the Akashic Records. 10,000 memberships limit. Everybody there that was thrilled to be learning, just absorbing it like sponges. Ancient manuscripts. It just blows my mind. And somehow or another, we got infiltrated with New Age. And it overrun the site. And it got shut down. The war started and it got shut down. So all that information is gone. I had it on drives. Gone. I stopped fighting anymore. I know that what I'm doing here, the people that are supposed to hear what I'm saying will hear it. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just supposed to say it. I'm just supposed to plant the seed and move along. I'm not going to stand and put a seed in the ground and scream at the ground for it to grow. Not my job. Not an evangelist. I do not care if you agree with me or not. I really don't. It's irrelevant. You are where you are on your path, and I am where I am on my path. The next stage, let's talk about what Aquarius is truly going to be like, because I can tell you that. I know what fixed air is all about. I know what it's about in many books and many languages, but I know what it's about where nature's concerned, and what we can expect, and how it's going to be so different from this fake New Age anointing that's everywhere. Everybody's third eye will be open naturally. Many in vitro, but definitely will occur in very early childhood. I would say 3 years old. By the time you're 3 years old, maximum, your third eye will be open. There will be no difference between male and female. There'll be no difference in races. But it'll happen naturally. Not because some government forced you to. Not laws and words, signs and symbols. That's why they pervert the symbols. And it's so important to know just the basic alchemy symbols. With just the basic understanding, you'll eventually be able to decipher anything. You look at it from many ways. The first thing you look at is whether it's presented to you in a masculine or feminine form. Then you're halfway through. So, Aquarius, the men will be prettier than the women. Naturally. It won't happen because of makeup or operations or even DNA altering, because it's the sun that's going to control the DNA. Right now, controlling the DNA is science. They control us through our foods and through our medicines and even the air we breathe. It's all polluted. The water we drink, it's polluted, and it alters our DNA. Frequency alters our DNA. To change music from 432 to 444 megahertz, they changed it. It alters DNA. The sun sets out a frequency that dictates whatever. Well, the sun gets his orders from this circle. So we can know what fixed air in the kingdoms of the birds will be like. We can look at nature down here. Birds, generally, most birds, they're different among the species. But generally, mostly mate for life. They are kind of like hive mind, but only within their species. You don't see a flock of seagulls hanging out with a murder of crows. They don't intermingle. They're born intuitively to know how to build a nest. They don't have to go to school to learn how to do anything. It comes naturally. It's instinct. It's beyond instinct. Instinct is more of a reactionary thing. This is just, it's a knowing. They mate up and then they build their nests. Most of birds raise their young together. There are exceptions to the rules. There's some birds that lay their eggs in a nest that's not theirs and trick other birds into raising their children. It's kind of weird, but it's done. In the bird kingdom, the male and the female generally are equally taking care of the young. Now, I'm not talking about domesticated birds. We've altered those birds like chickens and stuff. They're different. Just in the natural world, not in the manipulated world. There are different worlds here on top of this. And I do think we are in the third decan. We're moving into the third decan of Pisces. When you move each house, let me doodle here for a minute. Each house is broken into 3 parts. When we came from Aries, cardinal fire, into Pisces, we came from Aries into Pisces, water. The first decan of that, the first 720 years, we were supposed to put off Aries. It didn't just disappear in a day. It was changed over time. It had to become. And the further you get into Pisces, the less and less power the civilizations that ruled in Aries were there. They've all been there. They're all there. The whole circle's here and everybody's represented at all times. So, but that's not what happened. What happened, instead of shifting power, they joined forces. And they perpetrated a massive freaking lie. And they did it right here. It also, you have 3 spaces at the end of an age, or the changing of an age. Because you have 1 degree that's pure Aries, 1 degree that's part Aries, part Pisces, and then 1 degree that is Pisces. And that's 216 years. The whole age is 2,160 years. You have 216 for a transition. That's 72 times 3. Every degree is 72 years. A man can only, we live 1 degree. You just add a 0 for the age. And then if you want to know how long they've been in power, you add another 0. Because they've been in power since right here. This was the fall. And this group, everybody but Saturn, has been in control all the way back around to right here. And they want us to believe, while they're still in power, that we're moving into Aquarius. It's not anointed. What they're doing is a bunch of people all over YouTube and every other place on the internet, the media and everything, and all this New Age crap. I've not seen one that even claimed that they had actually opened their third eye. Not one. They'll tell you about techniques and this and that. And I agree, there are techniques that this can done. It's all in alchemy, it's all in hermetics. But it happened to me naturally. And that's how it's going to happen in Aquarius. It's going to happen naturally. It's not going to be a ritual or a ceremony or a technique. Our DNA is going to change. Our pineal glands are simply turned off. You want to open your pineal gland, you have to alter your frequencies in your body. And to do that, you have to, as they would say, align your chakras. Starting with the root chakra, Mars, which is your emotions. And then really the last one you align before the pineal gland is the Mercury chakra, the communication throat chakra. And right now, everybody in the world, their emotions are fired up in them, either on one pillar or the other. They're either on this side or that side, and they're spewing it all out of their mouth. The two main ones they need to control or get in line are your emotions and your words, what comes out your mouth. It's better to say nothing, really, it is, than to pull one way or another. Regardless of whether we like it, we're in this duality, and you're born into it. There's nothing you can do about it, except for you don't participate. You stand in the middle and just watch and learn. To me, I'm here to learn. I see no other value of being here. I really don't. My body, its value of being here, I'm female, so it's simply here to procreate. It's it. It's the only value it really has. I've been through all the cycles of life, so once you go into menopause and you're no longer menstruating, your body goes back to prepubescence. And everything breaks down. Your bones break down, your teeth breaks down. You don't have any oils in your skin. It's done. It did what it came to do. It's done. It's working its way out slowly, surely, just as nature does. Everything on this planet consumes something else. The planet is consuming itself. I don't care what it is, even if it's a simulation. It is writing and rewriting the code over and over. Civilizations slide off into the oceans and new ones are born. Asteroids wipe out whole ages and civilizations and new ones are born. The sun changes frequencies, old DNA dies. What they call junk DNA turns on. And that's not what's happening. They're controlling the DNA. They're controlling the narrative. To me, our biggest freaking enemy is the television. And now most of the internet. Because they've saturated everything with this phony, fake, New Age movement. It's not real. A religion, the way they do it, it's not real either. Religion was actually set up on purpose to help keep us from apocalypse in our asses, massive suicides, till we could get back to the real deal, which is when all our DNA is turned on, and it's in a fixed sign. It's fixed air, ruled in our heads, in our minds, connected to our higher selves. And it's all there in the script. They know it. They can't stop it. But they're trying to pull off a phony baloney one. It's like a king. A king is not really a king until he can be king, but until the coronation, he's not real king. What happens at the coronation? They pour the oil on him. And that's a fake representation of opening the third eye. Pineal gland. That's all that is. So they're fake too. They're not real royalty. Real royalty wouldn't act like they're acting. They wouldn't do what they're doing. No. But in the next stage, when we all have our pineal glands turned on, they can activate theirs artificially, but they're cheating when they do it. It might get them somewhere in this lifetime, but when they leave the body, they're not going to be happy campers at all. But they've been told up front, and they know the price that they're paying. They're trading their eternity for a simple here and now. That's all that they're doing. That's all they can do. It's all they've got. It's all they got to bargain with. But their time's coming up, because when everybody's pineal glands open, well, they're not so special anymore, are they? Because we all can connect with our higher selves and be in the know. Aquarius is all about knowing. We know now less than we ever fucking did, because our languages are manipulated. Hell, we don't even know how to read. Even as much as I know, I'm still at a freaking kindergarten level when it comes to the languages. I have to actually sit down and work it out. I'm getting better to where I can just hear it now. I can just hear what they've done to the word. Strip out all the vowels. Run it through the languages in my mind. And understand it. It's something that can be learned, but it's damned hard to do it. Because this has been going on for 216,000 years. I'm at 21,600 years. Probably longer than that. But we only get, all we've got information for is just one trip around the circle. That's it. To me, there's no such thing as a perfect circle. It always has a beginning and an end. The proper way, we think of circle like this. That's actually how we think of circle. But in alchemy, the way it's taught, you start with the dot. And then from the dot, let's do it this way. From the dot, you make a line. And then you go dot, line, circle. So the end really never touches the beginning. And a circle must overlap itself to be a circle. You can have, it overlaps. You don't close it, it's not a circle. And you can't get it perfect, so it overlaps. They do by machinery, they can make it perfect, but just naturally, it overlaps. So the beginning and the end are the same thing. They're the same thing. Like a lot of people, doomsday apocalypse, they want to save the world. Hell, I don't want to save this world. I'm just sitting and watching it go down. Be prepared. Just prepared. It's going. If this is truly the end of Pisces and we are moving into Aquarius, then none of this shit matters. Our governments are gone. Our institutions are gone. The corporations are gone. Your infrastructure's gone. Your religions are gone. It's all coming down. Then you'll know. But at the same time as it's coming down, a new world is coming up. One that's not ruled by royal inbred nepotism lines or ruled by money. Power is going to be in merit. Did you earn it? Kelly's crying at me. I need to pause. I have no idea where I was at. Oh, I don't like editing my videos either. They are what they are. I don't have a plan, just stuff in my head. Aquarius. It's an air age. If there's any religion, I don't think there's going to be any religion. Religion is really about Jupiter. and Jupiter has no part in the next age. So it's going to be different. We're going to see whatever this thing called source or God or all of that is, we're going to know. Everybody's going to know. And it's not going to be like now. There aren't going to be any of these rituals or ceremony or anything like that. It's going to be extremely natural. And it's going to be stable. It's going to be fixed. The Nag Hammadi calls it the unshakable race of humanity. What's the other one? They have several translations. That's why thesaurus is good. But in astrology, you would say fixed. And science or alchemy, you would say solid. We're gonna get a solid. Unbreakable, unshakable. There are many words that have been used to translate what this is. Astrology tells us it's fixed. The Bible uses the word a lot, stable. He was born in Bethlehem, which is be the lamb, Thalem, Fomalhaut. He was born in a stable or a manger, which means fixed. A stable is the animals in the barn, right? The manger. And he was surrounded by the animals and the star over his head. Bethlehem, which is the house of David, and has nothing to do with this symbol right here. They have hijacked everything. It's incredible. And no, this is the house that will be a house of division. It's all, you have to take out. Divide and David are the same thing. It's all a DVD. And you know, that changes because it's a TVT as well, or a TBT. Now, Aquarius is going to be more about live to let live. We're not going to run around telling everybody there'll be no two-party governments. There'll be no gazillions of religions. It's not going to happen. It's going to be like a school system, and it's going to be set up just like the zodiac, and it's going to be run by fixed air, which is the crown chakra. Everybody's going to have a crown. Everybody. Right now, they have the crown and is held by Jupiter, which is your belly button. Jupiter and Mars rule this world. The signs and symbols tell me that. Mercury plays a huge part, but Mars really ain't supposed to be a part of this age, but he is, and that's the root chakra. And those three symbols, Mars, Jupiter, and Mercury, rule this planet. Those are the three planets of power right now. They all have masculine and feminine sides. Every planet has a masculine and feminine aspect. Jupiter is feminine in Pisces in religion, and masculine in Sagittarius in philosophy and ideology, or atheism. No God. God, no God. It's really ridiculous. Humanity is so dumbed down. Like I said, we're at the lowest point. My parent, especially my mother, used to tell me that we weren't learning anything in school, that school was a lot harder in her day, and I find myself saying that when I put my son in school, and y'all ain't learning shit here. And it's every generation, it's just dumber and dumber. Most kids today couldn't even tell you what a thesaurus was, has never picked up a dictionary in their life, can barely read. They depend on Grammarly now to get them through an essay. No language skills at all. We've got machines thinking for us. It's like Dune. Humanity gets enslaved because machines started thinking for them. And even AI. AI is their artificial God. They think they're smarter than nature. As a matter of fact, it was Jupiter that built the Garden of Eden because he needed a slave to work the garden, and he threw Adam in there. And Adam's pineal was turned off. He wasn't connected. And then Eve, they artificially connected. But you know what? It was all perfectly natural. Because that's where they were in the alchemical process. Just like us, we're all different. Because each of us in our own lives are at a different stage of the alchemical process. They tell us that all men are created equal. No man is created equal with any other man. There are no two alike. There's always an anomaly. And that's just the way nature works. Our DNA is more fucked up now than it's ever been because it's been jumbled. That's the power of Mercury. Mercury is the media, medicine, communications. He has major corporate power. Nike, one of the names of Mercury. Mars, war, volcanoes. War is man-made Mars. Natural Mars is volcanoes. They would rather put us into a war. We were supposed to go to war, but a monkey wrench got thrown into their plans, so they're having to ad-lib and keep us distracted while all these volcanoes go off. Because the pressure must be released one way or the other. Either the earth does it, either man does it or the earth's going to do it naturally. That's just the way it is. When Adam was in the Garden of Eden with his pineal gland turned off, and Eve, through the serpent race, which you'll find in South America, opened her pineal gland. But because it was an age of Jupiter, the pineal gland was activated through the lower chakras. People today, they think with their emotions, Mars. They react with their emotions. Their head, they've got their head in their pants, literally. Everything, and Mars is about sexuality too. That phallic. It's very patriarchal. A representation of Mars and Aries is an erect phallus, by the way. It's the fire inside. It's Mars. The Romans have always worshipped Mars and Jupiter. Always. That's what they would consider their household gods. And Mars, actually, when he was in power in Aries, he forbid any symbols of heaven and earth. Only water and fire. Because Mars and Jupiter rule water and fire. Or fire and water. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. You have is right here. You have Sagittarius at Scorpio, fire and ice. Aries at Pisces, fire and ice. And Leo in Cancer, sun and the moon, fire and ice. Jupiter, Mars, and the sun and the moon. All lower chakra. All of it. And it's been that way for 21,000 years. And it's fixing to change. But they're giving us an artificial God, an artificial age. It's not anointed. It's not natural. The best thing we can do for ourselves is turn off our TVs, go outside and plant something in the ground. Connect back with nature. Everything, it feels what's occurring is presented to us like a masculine patriarchal movement at war with a toxic female matriarchy. And it feels like these two are at war, but that's not what's happening. Because that feminine side they're presenting us is not feminine at all. It's XY. It's not XX. Let's do chromosomes. They can divide it up any way they want it. This comes down to DNA. Everything that's going on comes down to DNA. And a man has X chromosome from his mom and a Y chromosome, when a female has XX. They explained this to me when they done the genome, and I'd done all the tests. I had a chromosome test. They gave me a chromosome test to see if I had the kidney disease that was in my family. And generally, most of what we get is from RNA. RNA is strictly feminine. Now, what happens is, in genetics, when it's the mother line, the offspring of these two, say it's a boy. They have these two, here's a man and a woman, they get together and have a boy. Right? Have a boy. And he has problems in his X chromosomes. He can get, and his mother's got 2X, right? She's got 2 X's. He only gets one of those X's. Well, one of her X's could be bad. And so her children have a 50-50 chance of getting a bad chromosome. And then he'll pass it down to his daughters, not his sons, in such case. When it's the male chromosome damage, it hits harder. Say, this is my father, and his Y chromosome was damaged and looked like that. So when he passed it down, because a daughter is going to inherit from her father regardless, and he don't have another Y to share. He's only got one Y. He don't have an alternate. So it pretty much goes from 50-50 to 99. So when they're altering our RNA, we got a 50-50 shot with our children. When they're altering the Y, we don't have a chance. It's 99-44. Genetic defects fall much harder in the male directly than the female. Now, things like the Bible, he said Jesus is at the temple and he's arguing with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Hell, let's just go look at it. I can quote it to you, but let's go to get it from the horse's mouth. Okay, I think it's here in the Gospel of John 8. The Gospel of John is my favorite book, period, hands down. Love the Nag Hammadi that he wrote as well. Chapter 8, Jesus went out into the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and he taught them. And the scribes and the Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, I'm just going to continue. They said unto him, Master. This word master right here, not from the Greek, not from the Latin, not from the English, translates from an Aramaic word, thalam, and it means teacher, master. This woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Moses, in the law, commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou? And they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus, or Thalam, stooped down, and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted him, which is funny.
nobody ever questions, what is he doing when he stoops down and he's writing on the ground in the sand? Because I've only ever heard this one other time, and it had to do with how you do a Ouija board. They would go into the desert, build a little fire, and then mesmerize the snake. And they would write yes on one side and no on the other in the sand. And then the snake would strike the fire, and whether he stroked left or right depended on yes or no. And that was when it was called writing in the sand. And when you were finished, I guess like a Ouija board, you had to close it out. You wiped it out of the sand. You erased it and buried everything. Close it. So when, let me scroll up. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, being at the eldest even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus lifted up unto himself and saw that none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where art thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And he said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. You know what? When you open your third eye, let's put it this way. When you go through a near-death experience and you do the life review, no man's judging you. No man condemns you. You condemn you. Your own memories condemn you. Your own memories. Not somebody else. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. The Pharisees said unto him, Thou bearest record of thyself. Thy record is not true. Jesus answered and said to them, Though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true. For I know whence I came and whither I go. But ye cannot tell whence I come or whither I go. Ye judge after the flesh. I judge no man. And yet if I judge, my judgment is true, for I am not alone, but I and the Father that sent me. It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Father that has sent me bear witness of me. Then they said unto him, Where is thy Father? Jesus answered, Ye neither know me nor know my Father. If you had known me, you should have known also my Father. These spoke words Jesus in the treasury, as he taught in the temple. So there's a treasury in the temple, and no man laid hands on him, for his hour was not yet come. And Jesus said again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come. Then said the Jews, Will he kill himself, because he saith, Whither I go, ye cannot come? And he said unto them, Ye are from beneath, I am from above. Ye are of this world age, I am not of this world age. I said therefore unto you, ye shall die in your sins. For if ye believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins. Then they said unto him, Who art thou? And Jesus said unto them, Even the same that I said unto you from the beginning. I have many things to say and to judge of you, but he that sent me is true, and I speak to the world age those things which I have heard of him. They understood not that he spake to them of the Father. Then said, There are only two fathers now. There's two mothers and two fathers, but each mother and father have three faces. You have Mother Water and Mother Earth. You have Father Fire and Father Air or Sky. You have fire below and air above. Now, the air can exist without the fire, but the fire can't exist without the air. The fire must have oxygen. to form combustion. Where was I at? Then Jesus said unto them, when ye have lifted up the Son of Man, then ye shall know that I am he. When you've lifted up means to be this. Well, first of all, the Son of Man is the sun, S-U-N, and the sign of the man, Aquarius. And to be lifted up means to rise in the east on the spring equinox. That's lifted up. So when Aquarius rises in the spring equinox, then you shall know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my higher self, my Father or Holy Spirit hath taught me, I speak these things. And he that sent me is with me, or within me. The Father hath not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. We're all going to have that. We're all going to have that connection. And he spake these words, many believed on him. Then Jesus said to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. What truth? There's no such thing as death. Then they answered him. This is where we get the goody-goody. We be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Now, they were Abraham's seed and are claiming to have never been in bondage. Didn't they claim to be in bondage in Egypt? Who are these people? They're the Sadducees and the Pharisees were the Jupiterians and the Aries, the ram and the fish. Jupiter in water and Mars in fire. That's who they are. They're not Abraham's seed. Abraham comes from Ibrim, comes from the Sanskrit Brahma, which means the sun. When you're in Aquarius, it is opposite you or above is the sun. They were born in the age of Leo. But when we looked up to Saturn, waiting on the golden age. But when you move into Saturn in Aquarius and you have the sun above your head, you have no need of the sun or the moon. For I am with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. He's in me. He's with me. He's with me. I'm not alone. We be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Jesus answered them. This word verily means truly, truly. I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And you can only commit a sin if you're under the law. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. If the Son, S-U-N, make you free, you'll be free indeed. If the Son, S-U-N, therefore shall make you free, you'll be free indeed. Well, the sun only has the age of Aquarius to make you free. It's the age of the pineal gland. And it lasts for 2 ages. It's world without end. Because Saturn rules the next age too. It's all the story of the Jedi. They're born naturally with metachlorian or whatever the pineal gland secretes. They do it naturally. But we see the Jedi at the end of the stories that we're given about Star Wars, or the last part of the last deacon of Capricorn, at the end of it all. The end of the Republic and the coming of the Empire. Jupiter rules Empire. And so when they tell us this story, they're actually telling us about the fall of man. And there were no more Jedi left. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, but my word hath no place in you. They're worshiping gods that are not even theirs. I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. Capital F, capital F, little f. They answered unto him and said, Abraham is our father. Jesus said unto them, if you were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that hath told you the truth, which I have heard of God, which that's not what's really there. This did not Abraham. This is what's going on right now, the persecution. But it's not just religion. It's the words in your mouth. It's the thoughts in your head. Everything's being censorship and cancel culture and vulture culture. It might as well be vulture culture because they pick your bones clean. They're going back on some of these actors that won't get in line, get in their line, that they'll go back on comments they made 15 years ago and just pick their bones clean. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that hath told you the truth, which I have heard of God. This not did Abraham. You do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, We be born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. We not born of fornication. And they use the capital F here. One Father, even God. Jesus said unto them, If God were your Father, then you would love me, for I proceeded forth from and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. This is why I tell you, don't beat your head against the wall, trying to evangelize people, trying to wake up NPCs, trying to get the religious out of the pews and off their damn knees and looking up, learning to find their cross and carry it. They're too busy arguing semantics because they cannot hear my word, because you got to use your eyes to hear the symbols and you got to hear the words to see the image. Ye are of your father, the devil, and lusts of your father. Okay, let's just jump right into the word lust, because lust is associated directly with Mars and Jupiter. Lusts of the flesh. Lower chakra. He was a murderer from the beginning. Rage, Mars, and abode not in the truth. Don't give a damn, thinks with his peckerhead, because there's no truth in him. There's no truth. You're supposed to be having an orgasm in your mind, stimulating your pineal gland, and you're having an orgasm in your pants, doodling with your diddle or whatever. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. A young man, at least these days, going through puberty, will tell a girl anything to get in her pants. Especially, I love you, when most people that have spent their lives together, married, and they still don't know what love is. Love has nothing to do with sex. If you have a sexual arousal and you identify butterflies in your stomach, puppy love, all that is not love. That's the flesh. That's lust. Because real love their enemies. There's no hate in them. So you're either born from hate, jealousy, and lust below, or you're born from love, kindness, and generosity from above. It's like I'm saying, in Aquarius, we're made in such a way that I can't scratch my back. I must scratch yours and you have to scratch mine. We have to have each other. And we're going to understand that. It's like, if I wanted to play in magic, I couldn't cast a magic spell for myself. Well, I'm calling it magic spell. Let's do it what the Bible says. The Bible says, pray ye for one another. Pray ye for one another. Ask and ye shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. The reason prayer doesn't work for us is because we've been given too many choices. And when you pray in metaphysics, you have to be focused on one thing. Well, it's easy. If you tell me you want a car, it's easy for me to pray for you a specific car, because I don't have a gazillion choices. I just pick one and start praying for it. But if I'm thinking of one of my own, well, I like this one, but I like that one too, and I'm not really sure, and it ends up in I don't know. And that's why prayer fails, because you have to be focused. Now, the same word is intercession. I hate the word pray, because it literally means to feed off of, or to stalk or hunt. But it should be intercessor. It was told to me very young, I stand in the gap for you between life and death. There are other children back there suffering the same thing that you are. Stand in the gap for them. I couldn't do it for myself, but I could do it for them. I can't do anything for myself. I do for others, others do for me. Good trade. It's like a barter system. Aquarius is about alchemy. It has one law, and it's the law of equivalent exchange. You reap what you sow. Karma. What you put into a thing is what you're going to get out of a thing. It's merit. Right now, we can put our whole lives into a thing and get nothing out of it. That won't happen in Aquarius. This mortality will put on immortality. You simply opened up your pineal gland. You've walked in the land of milk and honey, and you know there's no death here. There's no such thing as death. When you die, you throw off your body. It just feels like clothes. But right now, the body and the gods of the body rule this world age. The gods of the body and the flesh rule this world age. The great philosophers and thinkers and even religious, off the back through time, it's called the deepest, darkest place in matter. We are immersed down into the deepest matter. We're in Pisces, in the abyss. But we're coming out into the air, and we'll really be able to breathe. The breath of life, the water of life, words of life. Not all this death and chaos and destruction. And you know what? It's not just us that it's going to happen to. It's nature itself. The trees are going to change, and the animals are going to change, and the sky is going to change, and the water is going to change. We'll be able to, what I call think talk. We think talk with the animals like I did when I was little. You spend enough time with me and Kelly, I don't have to say anything. It's think talk. I can just look at her and she knows what I'm telling her. You think talk with the sun. You think talk with God. You think talk with your higher self. And it's going to be natural. Not induced. No cell phone needed. You want to get in touch with somebody, you just think about them. Boom, you're talking to them. Or you can be right in front of them if you want to. Once we shed the flesh, this lower underworld that we're in, it's going to be incredible. And you're not going to hate those that are ruling the world right now, because they're the most ignorant. They cannot, because ye cannot. They couldn't if they wanted to. They couldn't if they wanted to. But a day's coming that we all will, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then we'll be weeded out by merit. Did you earn it? It won't be about money. It won't be about bloodlines and whose freaking family you belong to. It won't be, it'll be about your education. Your education is going to be set up on the zodiac. Let me go over here for a minute. Depending on where you're born, when you were born, actually, it tells you what you're going to be good at, what you're going to like and dislike. What you need versus what you want. And we'll all have much better lives. We will feel fulfilled, and we will know our purpose. And that's something we don't have right now. All we have is the purpose of the lower chakras in the flesh. Survival of the fittest, no rules, it's just wide open freaking chaos. Procreation. That's it. That's all That's all the lower chakras have to offer you, is procreation, a feeling, Mars, whether it's good or bad. Some feelings that are bad to some people are good to others. Some people freaking like pain. Can you imagine? It's a turn on. Well, we need to turn off and look up. You need to turn off your sexual impulses and your emotional rage and hate impulses. In the next stage, it's going to be live and let live. Love and be loved. Give and you shall receive. Judge and you will be judged. But it's going to be fair and square. Because it's masculine. A real masculine, not this fake mutable one. We've got two masculine axes with one portraying itself as feminine. There is no feminine nothing. This whole age, the past 2 ages, they hate the woman. They hate Virgo. But Virgo is going to become Taurus, fixed earth. This go round, and in this age, Virgo is earth. It's mutable. Everything's mutable. But in the next age, Taurus becomes the right hand on that cross, on that fixed cross. And the right hand and the left hand are feminine. The water in the left fixed, as solid as ice. And on the right, a fixed earth, stable, unmovable, unshakable. And will actually advance right into cardinal earth, Capricorn. That's the earth at its peak, at its most high. Anything on the cardinal cross, you have the most high of earth, the most, which is Capricorn, the most high of heaven, which is Libra, the most high of fire, Mars, most high of water, the moon, Cancer. But you got to know how to read, get that thesaurus, and learn these little words they use to trick us, like the word world. It means world age. It's a time, not a place. We think of world, we think of the feet, ground under our feet. But that's not what that word means. It's a time. It's a when, not a where. All right, let me see. I'm probably going to fix to close this off. Let's I'll start back up here. Because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of God heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because you're not of God. Or crown chakra. Put it that way. And literally, this is between Jupiter and Mars work together. They combine. They're one. So this is really Saturn, the highest crown chakra, having a conversation with the lower chakras, Jupiter and Mars. But he's in the treasury, right? He's where Mercury, the money, the commerce. So they've got Mercury's house drug up into what was allegedly supposed to be Saturn's temple. Okay. Where was I at? Then answered the Jews and said unto him, Say we not well that thou art a Samaritan and hast the devil? Jesus answered, I have not a devil, but I honor my Father, and you do dishonor me. I seek not my own glory. There is one that seeketh and judgeth. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. Then said the Jews unto him, Now we know that thou hast a devil. Abraham is dead, and the prophets, and thou sayest, if a man keep my saying, he shall never taste of death, because you don't. Your pineal gland pops before there's any pain. When I got drowned in the pool, before my body ever hit the water, I was already 2 different beings. I was already out of my body. I never felt the wet till I was slammed back into my body after it was drug out of the pool. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead? Whom makest thou thyself? Jesus answered, If I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me, of whom you say, He is your Father, your God. Yet ye have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say, I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you. But I know him, and I keep his saying. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it, and was glad. Then said the Jews unto him, Thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Then took they up the stones to cast at him, and Jesus hid himself, and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. And that's that. They can't hear. They can't see. They're going to try to argue with me. I have Christians every day. I know y'all have read some of the comments they put down there. And they don't get it. When you're sitting in those pews and participating in their rituals, now the god of this world, frickin' Jupiter all over. Everybody's worshiping Jupiter in Waterworld. Or they're worshiping Mercury on Wall Street. Or they're worshiping Mars in our militaries. But Jupiter and Mercury have no part in the next 2 ages. None. No empire. Gone. It's coming down. When that happens, when the empire's gone, then you know you're in Aquarius. There's a good sign for you, huh? But they're all powerful right now. Even it's supposed to be Jupiter's time. And they are changing the times and seasons. Another prophecy that is being fulfilled as we speak. But if we're truly coming into Aquarius, then more and more people are not going to be woke. They're going to be truly awake. They need to awaken from this wokeness. Because it's not a dream. It's a nightmare. It's a complete nightmare. And we're living it. And most of us are participating in its existence and perpetuity by these symbols and these logos and all advertising dollars. Damn, it supports everything. All these logos and symbols that they flash on the screen in these ads, it supports TV, it supports Hollywood, it supports the internet with ad dollars. It's a beast, it's a monster. And it's consumed everything. Hollywood became Holly-weird and weirder. DC is just a joke. It's like, it's a frickin' joke. It's like a bad high school play. Really bad one. It's awful. TV's not worth watching. Everything, lower chakra, 100%. Even when they invoke your heart chakra, which is an upper chakra, they've attached it to sex in the lower chakra, so it just drags you down. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's unnatural. Because it's not what time is supposed to be. But if you've been in an empire that's been actually had control for over 20,000 years, and you know you're fixing to lose it all of it, what do? You throw everything you've got at it. They've showed us their arsenal. They've given us the Illuminati card deck. We're coming to the masks have to come off. The film runs out and this movie comes to an end. It's a Greek tragedy comedy. And I don't like it. I've seen it over and over. I am bored out of my mind with it. I have no interest in it. Lower chakra. They've been turned off for a long time. And then when you go through menopause, then it turns off naturally. And they really don't like the older women that have been through menopause. Because boy, can we see. We really start to wake up. You start dehydrating. And when you do, the flesh becomes weaker and weaker. And when your flesh is weak, then your spirit above is strong. It's like me being sick. I was freaking dehydrated. But I was so dehydrated, my brain couldn't function. My flesh couldn't function. You forget you need electrolytes. You forget any of that. It just doesn't compute. You're firing just to stop from firing brain cells, just to try to cope with taking another breath. But when you get your water balanced, all this spiritual energy was in me. And all these videos, it's like they bottleneck up inside of you and they all start coming out at once. You can't get it out because you can't function, but it's all still there. And when you feel better and you get enough, boom, it just starts coming out. Which, that's another pattern. It happens to me all the time. Every time I've been sick or down to where I get really weak and start to dehydrate, when I do rehydrate and get my electrolytes firing, neurons firing in my brain, all that spiritual energy. And it can come out in different ways. I'm using Mercury with the throat chakra to communicate. You can use your heart with the heart chakra to love and to encompass, and it's incredible. It's incredible. But you got to learn to control your emotions, people, and watch what you put out your mouth. You can't ever take the words back. Even the smallest things. When you have that life review, you realize that. Things that you didn't even pay attention to when you were in them. The detail is so much more after you're out of the body and have that review. You not only feel the emotions you felt during an interaction with someone else, you feel the emotions they felt during that interaction. Now, myself being an empath, I've always been able to know their emotions, but they've never known mine. And I also am aware that they're going to get to feel all the hurt that any person has ever caused me, they're going to get to actually feel my hurt when they do their life review. They're going to feel it all. Every pain, every tear I ever shed. And as well, you too. Store up your treasures in heaven. We have Uranus in Aries right now. That's your conscious mind. That's in the sign of purification. If Aries is balanced, it's on the cardinal cross. You don't get any better. But when Aries has no balance, it's the worst. All of the cardinal signs are like that. They're extreme to either good or bad. But if you get your balance and they get in the middle, then they're all powerful, the Most High, the Almighty. These kind of words are attributed to being in that, on the cardinal cross, but in that standing in the middle. Get off that solar pillar. Get off that lunar pillar. We're done with the sun, the moon, Mars, and Jupiter. We're done with them. We're moving into the light in the mind, the crown chakra, the air. Conscious is not local to the body. And we're going to connect with it directly, not via some metal chip. It's not going to happen. It's not the true christening. It's not the true anointing. It's not the true Holy Spirit that speaks in you. And even in Genesis, when God created Adam, when Jupiter, God, created Adam and put him in the garden and made a slave out of him, and then his third eye was open, so he can't do anything with him now, so he throws him out of the garden so he don't contaminate the others. And he cursed the ground. But he also told Adam to subdue the earth, the woman. And Adam is fulfilling the commandment of his God to subdue the earth, to subdue the woman. That includes Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. And look at what he's done to the earth. Look at what man of this world age has done to the earth. They try to blame it on, Europeans, white people. It's everybody. Everybody has to take responsibility for this. And the good book, if you can call it that, it's the Bibble Babble book, those who destroy the earth, those who harm children, those who have kept the truth from us, they have a heavy price to pay. But they've had their time. They've had 20,000 years. and they've wallered in it at our expense. Now it's time to pay the piper. And they're doing everything they can to stop it. They've made Aquarius and Capricorn into Baphomet instead of Pan. It's awful. It's awful what they've done. Even in Christianity, the Protestants, they took the man off the cross. He's not even there anymore. It's gone. No more Son of Man, right? How can you see the Son of Man coming in the heavens if you've taken him off the cross? Because the cross is in the heavens. 3 crosses at Golgotha, 3 crosses in the heavens. Golgotha means place of the skull. You know what a skull symbolizes? The frickin' zodiac, the cosmic mind. That's all it symbolizes. The left eye is the moon, the right eye is the sun. The earth is right in the middle and is the third eye. And she's going to open right along with the rest of all of nature. The trees, the birds, the flowers, the water, the air we breathe. Our air becomes the breath of life. Our waters become the waters of life. And we become, dare I say it, living gods. Oh, I felt the stone hit me. Or at least what we would describe as a god. We're really already manifesting this reality. We're just not aware of it. We've been lied to. We're manifesting it on behalf of the powers that be and the corporations with their logos. Get your symbols. Get them right. You want Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio. And the correct ones are all of them. They change them all the time. The correct symbol for this age for Scorpio is going to be an eagle, not a scorpion. Return of Quetzalcoatl. Return of Christ. Again, Christ is the christening. It means anointed. It's not a... It's within you. It's within you. Let's do... It's within you. Love the Gospel of John. Is this the Gospel? Yes. Because he has the book of John as well. In the beginning was the Word, the logo, the symbol. And the Word, the logo, the symbol was with Creator. And the Word logo symbol was Creator. The same was in the beginning with Creator. All things were made by Him. It's masculine. And actually, there is no, it should be it. It. Because in the Greek, there is no he, she, him, her. It's built in. So in the translations, it should be it. All things were made by it, and without it was not anything made that was made. And it was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from Creator, whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, capital letter, title, that all men through it might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into this world. It lighteth every man that cometh into this age. The kingdom is now. There are ways to naturally open the pineal gland, and there are other ways to open the pineal gland. Every man who dies, unless you die in your sleep, I don't know, there might be an anomaly or to it that the pineal gland don't activate, and you're out of the body. He was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into this world. He was in the world, in this age, and the age was made by him, and the age knew him not. He came into his own, and they received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power, or it, power to become the sons of God. Even to them that believe on his name, and they lied to us about his name. Jesus is the son of Jupiter. Jesus. which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of the man, but of crown chakra God, creator God. This is creation. We're in the midst of it. Earth, whatever this thing is we're in, this hologram. If we're in a hologram, then God's the programmer. And the angels are the dev team. Oh. And and our politicians, governments, and banksters are all viruses. And the word, symbol, logo was made flesh and not dwelt among us. It's dwelt within us. And we beheld his glory as the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Now, I've opened my third eye. I've walked in the land of milk and honey. All this heavily resonates with me. I still lack the terminology. What words do I use to describe to you what it's like to walk in the land of milk and honey, to open your third eye, to stand there with your higher self face to face, this incredible light being that looks like you, but it's an opposite gender. Looks like you when you're older. I done it as a child. And it's me, myself, like as a man in my 30s. So I get what they're doing with all this transgendered crap. But to me, he appears as me. To you, he's going to appear to you as you. What was it in the Nag Hammadi when John is standing there? And he said, and 3 appeared before me. One was like a child. One was like a mother. And one was like a father. And it spoke to me and it said, you don't recognize me? It's like looking in a mirror. But I guess people at certain times, they didn't have mirrors. A lot of people didn't know what they look like. You know what everybody else looks like, but you don't know what you look like. You get in silver or metals, you used to get these warped images, but we hadn't had the silverback glass, you know. Everybody couldn't afford a mirror. Most people had not a clue what they looked like. Look down into shimmering water and get a black and white dimensional looking reflection. Yeah, we never know what we look like, only what others look like. And we try to be what they expect us to look like, or what we think. It's like growing up and putting on makeup and stuff and doing your hair and getting dressed up. You weren't doing it for yourself. We were doing it to impress or get somebody else's attention, to be the best you can be, or whatever. I don't even bother with it anymore. I have no desire whatsoever to attract the opposite sex, or any sex for that matter. I'm just beyond that in my life. My lower chakras, naturally, just going through menopause and the hell life's given me, they're turned off. Every once in a while, I'll get darts thrown at me and get my ruffles feathered up. And that Mars chakra, adrenaline chakra, wants to pop off. But I just take deep breaths, upper chakra. Calm that heart chakra down. Take the deep breath with the throat chakra and just roll the eyes in the back of my head and look up. That's all we can do. We can't change people. That's the problem with the world today. Everybody wants to change everybody to be what they want them to be. Aquarius, thank goodness, it's going to be live and let live. If the New Age movement is running around trying to shove its ass down everybody's throat, then it ain't real. It's not real. I don't know what else to tell you people. This whole place is not real. It was not real to me when I first came into the body. I hated it. Wanted out immediately. Still want out. When I've been out of body or had a near-death experience or stood watching my body die, I didn't care a damn thing about it. It's not me. It's not me. My words are my own. Some of them are given to me. They just come into your mind. Like that download. You just get this information. It's like when I came into the body, the first thing I had communication with was the sun. Yeah, the sun in the sky. And right now, he's under the authority of Jupiter, and I don't like him. He is cold, distant, mechanical in nature. No sympathy, no, just doing a job. Soul in a body, soul in a body, soul in a body. I don't like him. I don't think he likes him, but he is masculine. At least for now. So, but he gets to change. And I know he's going to be happy about it. I just know. I don't know how I know. I just know. You get the download. The Earth's going to be happy about it. The Earth, she's like having a baby. But she's becoming a new world. She's going to put off the mutable age of Virgo, and she's going to put on that fixed age of Taurus. It's going to be stable. She's going to be stubborn. She's going to take on the traits of Mother Nature that protects her own. Right now, she's being raped and subdued for the past 20,000 years. If their time is up, they're done. It's just a matter of time. Enjoy the show. Popcorn, by the way. Love it. The ear of corn is one of the representations of Earth and also of Capricorn, because it's Earth in Capricorn, a symbolism for Saturn. The corn stalk. Yeah, sure is. Or the ear of corn, actually, not the stalk. The ear itself, all the seeds, the many seeds. All right, I hope this helps some of you put the puzzle pieces together and understand. I'm not interested in the New Age movement. I have my own sources of knowledge. I'm on my own path. I've looked at a lot of it. I went through it just like everybody else did. Probably a lot more skeptical than most people were, but even the Bible tells us all script is good for education. All script, even Bible Babble script. If you can see the patterns, break the code, learn to read, everything has some knowledge in it. Somewhere in nature, everything around you, there can be found knowledge in it. The worms in the ground can teach you things. Termites can teach you things. Bees can teach you things. Birds can teach you things. Fish school together. There's always something to learn from everything, whether it's good or bad. Knowledge is not good nor bad. It's what the hell you do with it. It's what you do with it. And I'll tell you one thing you don't do with it, is you don't shove knowledge down somebody's throat. When they're thirsty, they'll come drink. They'll come looking for you. You don't have to go looking for them. You can't beat an idea into a student's head. But the best thing you can do is to plant a seed. And maybe one day it'll get watered by one person, and it'll get light from another person, and it'll grow. Just like it did in me. All those seeds of knowledge, all that shit I learned that I thought was useless, wasted energy. Now it's all growing. And I have a pretty garden. And I love it. And I'm happy. I'm happy, one, because I know my purpose. And that what I'm doing is not in vain. And that I don't care. I've made hundreds of videos, even thousands probably, between all the channels. And if I only helped one person to have a better day, just one day, then it was all worth it. Go bank your karma, be the love, be the kindness. You do you, that's all you can do. You do you, and when you see somebody in front of you that needs help, reaching out to you, and you honor that, then when you need help, the world will reach out to you and help you too. It has worked for me every time. Just bank your karma. We've all done horrible things in our life and thought horrible things and said horrible things. I know I have. And we need all the karma we can get, because if we're truly entering Aquarius, then we gotta pay the piper just like the bad guys do. The scales will be balanced. And, the best that we can this world, we're just told to endure this age, to overcome it, to endure it. But not by any means necessary. That's not allowed. You can't harm others. That is not, what's occurring is not allowed, because they are harming others by keeping us ignorant. So they loophole our ass. And well, they signed the document. Well, it's written in terminology we couldn't understand if we fucking read it. Which we never do. We just sign. We know we gotta have what we gotta have. Can't do shit till you sign the line. Well, they will be judged by what measure they judge others. We all will. You'll judge yourself by what measure you've judged others. If you've shown kind and mercy, the universe will reflect it back to you. And I know it seems a wasted cause in this age. All we have is the criminal justice system, and there is no justice for the victim, only the criminal. Nothing we can do to change that. It is what it is. The gods that rule this age are not my gods. I'm not going to sit in their churches. I'm not going to put money in any organization or funded charity or trust. I'm going to help the people I know that reach out to me for hurt. But don't throw your money away on any 501c3. I don't care if it is a charity or a church. They are just there to make money. They're there to make a profit. That's all it's about. We need the prophets of this zodiac here to tell us what is, what was, and what will be. Because their profits are of no value to us, only in short term. All you really need in this world is a safe place to sleep, to raise your family, food to eat. There's no need for luxuries nor necessities. We need necessities. And a little luxuries don't hurt anybody. But these people that are hoarding billions of dollars, when they could be helping whole countries turn around. But instead, they're destroying them, and they're parasitically feeding off of their populations. All of them, I feel sorry for them really bad, because they can't hear. They don't hear his voice. They can't see him. They don't know. They think this is all there is, because they've never experienced the upper chakras. They're shut off from them. It's cut off in their DNA. The only thing they can know and experience is lower chakras, and that's sad. Especially when you get older in life. You're going to find yourself alone, with no friends, and the world turns its back. The world that loved you turns its back on you. It's like an old movie star growing old, and nobody wants her anymore, and she's not pretty anymore, and she can't get a job anymore, and all of her friends are gone. And she was just a fad, and a fad will fade. All right, people, this is push over an hour and a half. I'm shutting it down. I hope this gets you through. I'm trying to catch up on charts. Nope, I'm not taking any chart requests until I get caught up. Sorry, best I can do is put you on a waiting list, and there are a few waiting already. So, those of you waiting on yours, give me a couple of more weeks. They kind of all got disorganized, but at least they're scheduled, and I'm getting them done. I'm feeling better. They're coming out great. They're getting a little longish. Right now I'm really connected, so there's a lot of information are coming through in the charts, but I'm getting to them as I can. I'd love to take some more right now. My bank account would love me to, but I can't. I simply can't until I get caught up. They deserve it. And it seems every time I've tried to add one to it, what happens in my spreadsheet, it's organizing the way it wants to. And they all got jumbled up. And I need to correct that error and fix it once and for all. And that's what I've been doing. Why I'm not doing videos, but I do try to catch up on emails. I'm actually considering asking a few of you to be moderators on my channel. It's too big for me now to go through the comments and answer the questions. And apparently a lot of comments are going in what is called hell for review. YouTube is marking them as blocked words or inappropriate content. Now, I have my channel set for no children, so you actually have to be over 18 to get into my channel. That way they can't strike me for what I'm putting out. But it is, the older videos are available on Brighteon now. Inside 33, I do believe somebody told me was gone or whatever. But all those videos are on my channel on Brighteon. You'll find the links in the description box below. Again, about flash drives, I got a couple of new people that are one person that's put up another cloud. So that's going to help Gina and Darryl out. And I'll be adding them to the link list as well. If for some reason, you know what, I guess it's been about 2 months ago. I don't remember saying anything about it on a video. I might have. I had some of the flash drives come back that got mangled, trying to run it through a letter slot when it had a flash drive in it. It was tearing up the envelopes. And I guess a couple of them couldn't be read, so they had to send it to the return address, was the only thing readable. And then I had a couple of you in the past have told me you got packages. It was just a manila envelope that you also got them mangled. They just weren't putting them in the right slot. Not aware there was a flash drive in it. I don't know. But if you didn't get yours, they're still available. And, you know, I had one person comment that they tried to use the cloud and download. But it was over 13 hours and it still didn't finish. Yeah, well, I know. That's why I needed help. It's like I was telling you. These things are 16 gigabytes. Do you know how long it takes for me to make one copy? I had to have help. And help I got. You guys really stepped up to the plate, and more help keeps coming so that more can go out. Up to date, there's been over 5,000 given away already. Over 5,000. That's tremendous. And there's all kind of knowledge in that library, even what I call evil knowledge. But you've got to know your enemy. If you don't understand them and know who they are, you don't know how to fight them. And this is a war right now that's going on between in your body, I would call the upper chakras and the lower chakras. I'm feeling a lot better, but I'm having complications recovering. I had gone so long on dehydrating, no food, liquid food, to where when I actually started to consuming solid food again, my digestive system freaked out. It's like, what the hell is this shit? We ain't had none of this in a long time. It was taking forever to process and shutting down it just freaked out. It's still not right. It's going to take me a while to get, I guess, what you call your constitution back right again. But that is what it is. I feel better. My mind is right, which is what really keeps me going. I can deal with a lot of the pain in the body, but when it gets so much that it short circuits my brain, that I can't deal with. I don't know anybody that can. But I just thank you guys for recommending Pedialyte. And thank Tracy for coming to help me. And I just feel like I have been down and fatigued and drained with infection and sick and all kind of symptoms, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I feel like springtime, that I'm a little seedling just trying to get up out of the ground and reach for the sun, and my roots are going deeper day by day, and my little leaves are opening and turning green, and it just feels wonderful. Oh, it makes me want to go put my feet in the dirt. I think I will. I've been planting a few things around here. That's what I advise you to do. Okay, 1:44, I'm out of here.